4.
Sorry.
Elevate call number 4, session 2, call number 4. And so you're saying I'm kicking it off. Okay. Well, I don't know if y'all have checked out our new tool that we have under
I'm getting there.
getting started, under when people start looking at the opportunity, looking about maybe possibly being a consultant. We have a new tool. Has everyone checked it out? Y'all can show y'all's piles if y'all have. I don't see any piles, so nobody's checked it out. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it's super exciting. It tells them all about joining. It shows them everything and lets them have a good look at the business itself. So this is a tool that we can use, like say we're having a party, we're kicking off a party, and you can let them know, hey, I don't know if you've ever considered doing something like Pampered Chef before, but before your party even starts, I want to let you know that many of our hosts decide to give our business a try when they learn this party could be their first party as a consultant. So I'm attaching a sneak peek for you to check out what goes on behind the apron, and I would love to know what your thoughts are. So, and then if you've got consultants that you haven't, or not consultants, leads that you've talked to that, you know, they haven't signed, but there's some leads, you can go back to them and say, oh my gosh, check this out. This has your name written all over it. Wanted to see what you've got. Wait a minute. I wanted to see what we've got cooking with Pampered Chef, and just send them that. And then you can also say, look, this lookbook just came out. It gives you a peek behind the Pampered Chef apron, and it's just as has your name written all over it. Will you take a look at it? And then they even said about making a post, you know, in your parties, make a post and let them know. I've been telling you about how great this business is with Pampered Chef can be, but now I want to show you. Know that I was saying a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, check this out, our lookbook, and see yourself what I'm talking about. Once you've looked over it, and let me know what one thing catches your eye first, something like that you could put in there in a post. So there's all kinds of things we can do with it, and ones you haven't talked to in a while, hey, just following back up. Just wanted to check back and see if you had any questions, if you had a chance to look at our lookbook, or are you ready to be one of those, get one of those amazing bundles and give us a try. So there's all kinds of different things we could do with this lookbook. So it's just right there at our fingertips, and they've made it. Have you flipped through it? Was I reading this off when have you showed them everything?
No, I just got to the part on, this is like my consultant website, and I just clicked on the be a consultant section. And can everybody see my screen? Okay. And all I did is, this is what it looks like when you pop in to the be a consultant section. And then if you just scroll up a little bit, then here is the lookbook. And so then here it says, take a look. And it's through the, you know, the issue. So you can probably send them, you know, share it that way with the link. You can download it. I just tried to print it a few minutes ago though, and I don't know, you'd have to find out what correct dimensions and stuff you'd have to put it at. It's not, I was having trouble, so I don't know if we can actually print it. It is not in the supply orders either. So if you just kind of start clicking through it, it's got some great information. It's really, I mean, it's really cute. It's got some spots on here that are interactive too, that you can click and watch a video. I don't know if it had it on the first page. Nope. On that second page though, there's a video. Then some just great information, some great consultant pictures. Just takes you kind of through each little thing in here.
They said to also like send it to your rock star guests too. And, you're asking them, you was so, made the party fun. You were so interactive and thanks so much for, making the party fun. And I wanted to
Donna?
see, yes,
Oh, excuse me, the words that you just shared, which sounded great, you had several different sort of, wording choices. Where can people find those? I know I went on the Stir and there is a section in the Stir about the lookbook, but it doesn't have what you were just talking about. Is that somewhere that people can find it or can be shared in the group?
there is not anywhere I know that they can find it, but I can share my words in the group. I didn't.
That would be
get these
fabulous.
Words myself. I got them from someone else, but it
Okay.
was actually part of our director, Kyle. Once y'all promote to director, we have special calls that we do. Well, actually twice a month. We have a big director call, just sort of telling all of the happenings of the month. And then we have a second director only call. And I can't even remember the name of it, but anyway.
Spotlight.
Oh, Spotlight.
Spotlight,
Yeah.
And
I
they
wasn't on there
train,
this week.
they train on stuff and just different topics. And this topic this month just so happened to be the lookbook. And I wasn't able to be on the call, but I actually listened to the recording. And since I listened to the recording and too, if I was live, you can actually copy the words, and I copied them and pasted it on the notes in my phone. And so that's why I have all these words. And she gave words for every scenario that you could use it for. So I can put all of them in the our little training group so that everybody know what they are. But it's just some great words to use, a great new tool to use, and just something to help us with our recruiting. So I'm just super excited about it because I love new stuff, and it, you hate to keep on going back to people saying the same old. Well, this is something new. They can have this and they can flip through it and maybe get a spark. So
I love it personally, because this is where I always, when I've got somebody that's interested and we're kind of starting to have that little bit of an initial conversation, and I'm going through the steps of telling them, to make me a list of questions and I'll touch base with you in a couple of days. I usually say, in the meantime, I want you to click here, and I have a link to go to my Be a Consultant page. And so the fact that this is just placed right here for us, because this is a great place to send people when they have questions. There's lots of info on this page. So I hope that you guys have that kind of in your practice of your recruiting steps, is sending them to this part of your website.
And I think after you send them there, make a plan to follow up with that sort of what did you think? What were your questions? Which kid caught your eye? Because if we just send them to some place like that,
yeah, that's like I said, that's always kind of like why don't you start working on a list of questions, we'll talk in a couple of days, and in the meantime, check this out. Yeah. There's lots of info. I actually kind of love how they have the kits listed out here. If you see, they're pretty, I like that. So yeah, it's a good little spot on your website.
Yeah, and you can use it in a lot of different, well, like Kelly said, it's sort of a starting point, but then when you do talk to them again, you got something to talk about besides just how you doing. Sometimes that follow-up can be a little hard to get into the nitty-gritty of actually talking about the business.
And the thing is too, is like, there's these videos in this section, click on them and watch them. So you know what they're going to be, what they're going to be looking at. So if they have a question about it, you know what they're talking about,
And you can also direct them to that. Like if you already had some messaging or conversation with them and you know that the income is the big thing, you give them the link and you say, and there's a video perfect for you. It's all about earning income. I know that's what you have in mind, so you can really kind of personalize even the link, in a way to kind of give them a heads up. Oh, this is something I think you're going to really love, is where, one of the videos talks about the flexibility, because I know that's really important to you. So it's making it about them and what's in it for them in a personal way, while using these tools that are kind of not generic, but serve a lot of different purposes. But we can make it more personal for them when we know a little bit about how to direct them to a certain spot on the link.
Yep.
Yeah, they said also on that call to her words that she said, make sure you let your host know that many of our hosts decide to become consultants. So that way, they know, it's a given thing that a lot of people do. So she said
It's sort of normal, like it's not a
Yeah,
crazy
normal.
idea. Yeah.
yeah, use those words, she said. So I thought that was pretty good. I'm going to go back through my, host coach and my host ask and make sure I have those words, because they are good words, that it's like the norm kind of thing that. Any questions about the lookbook? Everybody excited about it?
Yeah. All right.
Y'all ready for me to go?
Sure.
Yep, ready for you.
All right. Kelly, you want to go ahead and stop share, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
So we're wrapping it up, guys. This is call 4. So this is the last time that we're going to be together in this session. So if you can either put in the chat or hold your fingers up. But how many recruits do you guys have so far? Who's got new team members? All right, Jamie's got 2. Who else has got some new team members?
Now, are we looking for new people since Elevate started, or just how many people they have on their team? Like if they already had some before?
Well, let's just go with where we are since Elevate started.
Okay.
Sorry, I guess I should have said that. All right, Jamie's
Which
got 2.
Elevate started? Maybe you should clarify that,
what?
because Jamie and Denise has been in Elevate since Elevate was created.
Okay, so this is the 6th week we've been together. Y'all are making it really complicated. So it's the 6th week that we've been together.
Session.
This session, who has recruited people in this session? Nobody? Denise, I thought you had.
Kathy Pingle couldn't be on tonight. I know she's
Kathy, okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. So Kathy Pingle is the only one in these last 6 weeks that's recruited somebody,
No,
correct?
I think Jamie did. Jamie did too.
Jamie did
Jamie
too.
has
Okay.
2 fingers.
Well, I saw her fingers and I
And
saw her boy.
Denise
Okay.
did too, but she's disappeared.
Denise did disappear. I thought she did. I kept waiting for her.
I know, I
Um,
kept on waiting for her
we
too.
made sure
And
she's not in the
I'm
waiting
getting
room.
off here.
Well, I've got one. So
I'll
okay.
keep watching the waiting room. See
Do
if
what?
I'll watch the waiting room and make sure she doesn't jump back
Okay,
on.
awesome. Awesome. Okay. So now let's talk about your entire team. Counting the ones that you have recruited. So total, how many people do you have on your team right now? Debbie's got 2. All right. Kendra, I think, has 1. I think you're in the dark. All right. Is that 1 for Kendra? Right,
It is
Jill?
Yeah, she
dark.
has 1. Yeah,
Okay.
she has 1.
Okay.
trying to check
Awesome.
the chat
Star
too, in
there,
case they
so
put it in the
whatever
chat.
that
Yeah,
little
I
star
see the
is.
moon behind her. So, and Donna, you said Denise has
She
how many
has
people?
2.
Okay.
I think 1 this time around and 1 last time around, something like that, maybe.
Okay. So, and you know what it's going to take to get to director, right? So if you have 1, you need 4. If you have 2, that's right. Kendra's like 5. So Kendra needs 4 more. Jamie needs 3 more. And Denise needs 3 more. Awesome. Okay. So what do you need? This is, I think, is a big thing, because I think that's huge that we've got lots of new team members. Before we go there, who's got some hot leads? Who has got some people that you're talking with that are like fence sitters, and you're like, man, like what else can I give them, or what else can I talk to them about? Because like sometimes fence sitters can like get us all excited. Okay, Jennifer's got her hand up. So Jennifer's got some fence sitters. I guess that's what that means, right? Wasn't sure if she's got her hand up. Anna's got some fence sitters. Okay. So let's address what's going on. So because we've got lots of people here that has built their teams and we want to help you with those people. So what are some questions that you've got about why are they sitting on the fence? That's a good question. Why are they on the fence? What are they on the fence about?
Here comes Denise.
Y'all got a top recruiter asking y'all what they're on the fence about. I was even working her brain this weekend. And you know what? Her brain got me a new recruit this
I've
weekend.
helped two of my friends the last 2 weeks get new recruits based on this, actually the same thing. So Jennifer came off mute for a minute, had her hand up.
So Jennifer put in
time
the
is
chat
the,
time, yeah.
and Anna said time. So is it they do not have enough time to be a consultant? Do they think it's going to suck up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Or is it is not a good time for them? So there's two different things we talk about time. Is it the time they've got to put in it, or is it not the right time for them? I thought y'all could just fling time at me and it'd be a black and white question, but it's not. So,
And-
well, too much on their plate right now. Okay. So, Jennifer, that's really good. I guess both of them are kind of saying now is not the right time. So, have you dug into it? They say they suck at parties like it. I love that, Jamie. Jamie, we talk the same language, girl. So here's the thing. Just listen. They look at us and they're looking at our parties and they're like, we can't be like them. Right? I mean, think about it. Were you like that when you started? Were you looking at the person that you signed up under and thought, there's no way I couldn't hold a candle to all the words that Jill could spout out at a party? And I freaked out over it.
Yep.
But so I think one of the most important things is to talk to them and like let them know that you're not going anywhere, that you're going to be right there along with them. They may not know a thing about a party, but parties can come in so many different forms. They don't have to have a Facebook party. They don't have to have a cooking show. They don't have to do that, So talk to them about the different types of parties. Go, okay, let's talk about what you don't know. Well, honestly, people like and don't say it like this. Don't be totally blunt like Cheryl would be, but I wouldn't say that to them. But like nobody knows how to have a Facebook party. They've never had one, right? So kind of let them know that we totally get that. And Pampered Chef has everything that you need. And you've got me. I know how to do this Facebook party. I know how to do this table party. You have me. You've got to make sure that what you're talking to them about, when you're talking about they've got you, that you've got them. You've got to make sure that you've got both arms around them, you're holding them tight, and you're not going to let them go. They're going to figure it out. You don't go to work and learn, say you come out of high school and you go straight into the accounting field. You don't just go in there and sit at the desk and know everything. You
Right.
learn it step by step by step by step. And you also learn by mistakes. You also learn by stretching a little bit. So it's really good when you're talking to them and they're expressing specific things. Okay, I don't know how to do a Facebook party. Talk to them a little. You don't have to go into depth, but talk to them about how you've got their back. And so for the other ones, it's like they don't have enough time. Now that's a whole nother ball game, but you have to find out how much time do they really think it takes. Honestly, when I started Pampered Chef, like for a few years, I did like one party a month. So it didn't really take me much time at all. Like one cooking show a month. Sometimes it was one catalog show a month. So if you calculate all the hours in the month, that catalog show probably took me about 3 out of 30 days, 24 hours a day. So that would have been time that I could have 3 hours out of the whole month. That's about how long it took. So find out how much time, because in their mind, they think that this is what we're doing all the time, that this is all we're doing. And we might, Donna and I know we work a lot. I know, Kelly, but it depends on where you're at in your business. If you're just getting it started, I always like to say baby steps. Let's give it a try. Let's do baby steps. And are you offering to run their first party for them? Even if they are a host and you're converting them. If you're helping them book a party, are you willing to run that next party for them? Are you willing to give up that kind of time for them if they work with you hand in hand to do that? Let them know if that is a deal maker, then tell them, like, you know what, I'll run this party for you. We're going to work together on all this. You're going to be talking to everybody, and I'm going to get the flow going. That kind of thing. Have you ever thought about that? I mean, that was a big change for me. I started running my new consultants parties. So we've addressed time on kind of both ends. What else? What other
Cheryl,
kind
can
of,
I just say too,
yeah,
when you're talking about asking them things like that, like Cheryl said, find out what they think. And the way you do that is literally ask them. And you can say something like, "Oh, I know it sounds like you're really busy. Everybody's has a lot of things going on. I'm curious how much time do you think that it would take?" Because they might be thinking they need to be spending 30 hours a week doing Pampered Chef. They might think it's all day long because they're seeing you post every couple of hours in a party, and they think you're sitting down every 2 hours to try to think of a recipe to post. So their expectations may be completely different than what their reality would be. But until you get in a conversation with them about it, you don't have the opportunity to give them a different perspective. So don't be afraid to just ask. I mean, gently. We're not going to be like, "Well, why not?" Just do it. Don't be silly. It's no big deal. I mean, if it's a big deal to them, it's a big deal, and it's a roadblock for them. But at the
oh, Jill, we're losing you.
She's driving.
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that
Oh, now she's silent. She's talking. She doesn't know.
Oh,
oh, well,
Yep. We missed all of
anyway,
that.
if you can, can you hear me
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just saying, don't be afraid to ask gently.
Right.
And if you're not sure how to do it gently, then, ask your director. But just saying kind of, "I'm curious, what do you think?" can open up, really be very eye opening, because we might think we know what they're thinking, but a lot of times we don't. And until we
Right.
get on the same page with them, we don't, there's nothing we can do except say, "Okay, I guess you're right. You're too busy. Never mind."
Oh, and also another thing, like, think about how much work you're doing. Maybe they only want to have one party a month. And look, let me just embrace you. That's okay. Yes, we want them to get off to a great start. We want them to rock and roll. But sometimes if they're just wanting to dabble, let them dabble and really let them know, let's just give it a try. Another thing that I find is really important when you're working with, and this will be a host, when you're getting the bookings on their party, are you going back to them and saying, look, we've got this booking, this booking, this booking? Though, do they know? Does your host know that those bookings can be theirs? And you have to be okay with that, because that's okay for them, because they're their friends. Um, but another thing is, I'm talking more about host right now. Um, when you have a $200 party, this is a little tip. When you have a $200 party and the party's no more than that, like it hasn't made it to $300, are you adding the kit credit to that party before you submit it? Have you thought about that? The reason why I'm saying that is it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't take away from the host. They're not getting any, unless they have the special that they had in July, which is random. They don't normally, that's not been a thing. Um, but if it's a $200 party, go ahead and add that kit credit in there. Let them know they've got a bonus. It's sitting there if they want to give Pampered Chef a try. Are you offering the kit credit to everybody? Yes. Windshield wipers, bobbleheads. Which one? Okay.
Yes.
All right. are you letting them know that even if they take the kit credit, here's another thing that I learned. When you put when they're thinking the kit credit, they're like, I have to sign up right now. A lot of people think I've got to sign up right now. But no, they don't have to sign up right now. You can drop that kit credit in there and 6 months down the road they can sign up. Did you know that? Make sure you know that. Make sure the host knows that.
2 years down
That's
the road.
do what?
2 years down the road, they can.
Yeah, 2 years down the road. Even if it's been like where it's not on there anymore, Pampered Chef can put it back on there.
Yep.
So,
never expires.
right. And you better keep up with it because there's no report out there that's going to tell you where it's at. So how bad do you want directorship? That's what I want to know. I mean, really, like, how bad? How bad do you want it?
Anybody?
No, not bad. You really don't want it.
Jamie
Okay.
says so bad. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I was trying to get to my chat here. I don't know where it went, but forget it. Okay, Jamie says so bad. Okay, Anna says yes, I want it. Okay, what are you doing that you are getting yourself ready as far as knowledgeable about it? Because we've given you a lot of things. Are you going into Dash? Are you learning all that you can learn about recruiting? Or do you think there's more stuff out there that you could be listening to and really soaking it in? Because if you do want to do that, we can point you in the right direction. All right. Dash training is good. There is some information on the conference, like in Dash, you know, they uploaded the trainings at conference that some of us did. So there's a recruiting thing in there. But did you know that you can go onto YouTube? One of the places and like just kind of YouTube search Pampered Chef recruiting training. Also, we've got access, and you guys would have it too, but it might be easier to instead of sitting y'all down a rabbit hole to kind of give y'all some different trainings and stuff like that to listen to. And then we can point you in the right direction. We'd hate to send you down a rabbit hole and freak you out. But I mean, we can, but it's a 2 Facebook groups. One of them is no longer a working Facebook group, but all the stuff is in there. The other one is a working Facebook group. But honestly, the more you know about recruiting, the more you listen to top recruiters and people that are doing it consistently and taking whether it's just one little plug out or their whole thing, and you're just doing those things, I promise you, the more that you soak in and absorb, and the more you want it, those things will help you point you in the right direction. I guess that's the thing that I just if you want it, you have to want it. We want all of you guys to be directors. But if you are just sitting there and you're like, yeah, I want it, I want it, I want it. But are you wanting it so bad that you're like every day you're talking to somebody about it? Are you wanting it so bad that people look on your social media and they see you as a consultant having a great time? Like maybe you're sharing your story on social media. You know, are you following your directors and your leaders and seeing what they're posting on their social media about their business? And I'm not talking about, oh, the kid's $50. I'm talking about like, wow, what did they just put? They just went really raw out there and told their story. Or they're kind of, you know, pay attention to what your leaders are doing. That was my soapbox. Sorry, I was on it. I had to get off of it there for a little bit.
I think that's so important and true though. And you guys, so I know Cheryl's talked before about her, you know, kind of long time in Pampered Chef, but there was definitely like some flipping the switch moments in her business. And when she decided that she was ready to recruit and wanted it, there was nothing. First of all, there's nothing stopping her. And she became like totally took the initiative to go seek out what can I find? And it was some from Pampered Chef, some from our team or other teams, some, like she said, from YouTube, some old stuff, some new stuff, some whatever. Every day I was hearing from her about, oh, I listened to this and I watched this and I did this. And I think just immersing yourself in something, and it's not even necessarily like there are no magic words. It's not like if you just listen to the right training, then everything's going to go your way. But when you start making that so much a part of your day, a part of what you're doing, it starts to become second nature to you. And you remember the concepts, even if it's not the specific words. And that is huge. That's a whole, it's sort of like, you know, when you start driving when you're a kid and you have to pay attention to every rule and you're trying to remember, oh, I got to put on my blinker and I need to do this and this, all the things. And before long, like now you can drive and like get home from the store and not even remember the trip, right? I'm sure we've all done that because it becomes so ingrained. And it really is just a matter of doing it over and over and over that gets you there. So the Pampered Chef recruiting version of that is really seeking out everything, you know, that idea of become a student of whatever it is that you want to learn. And so some of that is stuff that people put right in front of you, like this Elevate program. And some of it is saying, okay, what else can I do? What else can I learn? Who else can I talk to? What other, you know, things can I listen to other ideas? And it's not because you're in search of the perfect thing. It's just because you want to get a really good foundation of ways of thinking, ways of talking, and ways of approaching people, ways of responding to their concerns and objection. And you learn that and you get better and better at it the more you do it. And the more you kind of follow other people who are doing what you want to do. So it really just makes sense. So we can't really stress that enough, that the resources that are there of all different types, sometimes it's just a conversation with your director or with somebody else, you know, of you know, fellow Pampered Chef team member or something, where you can bounce ideas off each other or kind of talk through, okay, this is somebody I'm talking to, this is what they're saying, how does this sound, or what would you say, or whatever that might be. But when you really, you know, kind of, like I said, immerse yourself in that whole recruiting process, it makes a difference because it takes it from something sort of outside of you that you're just going through the motions kind of, to something that like, this is who you are. And that's a completely different way of sharing the opportunity with people.
Thanks. Yeah, I was thinking, and something else too, guys. You may not realize this, but yeah, we've been having like our one-on-one calls and stuff like that. If this is a trip that you want to get on, if this is a journey that you want to take, you reach up to, it could be your direct recruiter. Don't be afraid. And I know we all got different orgs. We got Kelly's and Jill's and Donna's and mine. But go up. You know, if I am one of your uplines, I am willing to work with you. I mean, if you're willing to do the work and you're willing to, you know, do the things, I'm very much willing to give you my time. So, and I know that goes for Jill and Kelly and Donna, but you know, if you're in our downline and you want to continue this and you really want directorship, we're going to put it all out there for you because, you know, you're one of us, you're one of ours. So just to kind of let you know, I know there's two people, I think, I'm pretty certain. Jennifer, are you you're under Teresa, right? I feel really dumb asking that question. I'm pretty certain that's the Jennifer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yes.
Well, I'm like, I think it is.
Yes,
And
I'm under
Anna,
Teresa.
I think Anna, Rachel, is Anna on your team?
That Anna's mine.
Oh, different. Okay, that's Anna Williams. This is Anna Geyer, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I think that's
different
right. So
Anna.
Anna Williams isn't in this one, but
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, guys, I mean, honestly, I'm very much willing to do one-on-ones, and like I said, I know everybody else is, but yeah, thank you, Joe, for that because I mean, it's hard for me to say, but I just soaked it all in, and so find somebody that you want to follow and do what they're doing, and find out what they're doing. So, you know, I don't know what else but but you can go through Elevate again. This is not the end of the road. If you want to continue, we're starting our other one that's kind of going on. If the bookings are there, guys, you can jump on in the next one. and go through the recruiting again. And that's another thing, just continue doing the trainings because you know you're not going to do it all at once. You're going to pick up little stuff here and there. So but that's
And
all I
we're
got.
looking for things to improve. So just because you
I was
went
gonna
through it
say, and
last
it's
time, don't
right,
mean.
it's changing all the time. I mean, some of the same content, but then there's always something that we pull in, like the phase one that's happening right now is a little different than the phase one that you guys did.
Yep.
And it'll continue to kind of evolve. And so if you've got the bookings, the 14 bookings.
And she went silent again.
And she's gone.
We can't read that. It's acting like it sees her talking, but it's not letting us hear what she's saying.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, missed all that. Kelly, do you got anything you want to?
Well, I was just gonna say that I really, when it comes down to all of this, it's all about deciding. That's truly what it comes down to. And I brought up something that I've had access to this for a really long time. And I think Donna was there, but Cheryl at the last.
Donna was there. Yeah, we were all there when Claire.
Yeah. So Claire Dolger is she was my hospitality director for a few years when my director had moved away and stuff. And this was one thing that she shared with us. And I bring this up to my team all the time. And I just think it's worthwhile reading it to you guys. So the title of it is Decide. Decide to try the business. Decide to be successful in your first 90 days. Decide to promote to director. Decide to be paid at your level. Decide to earn a trip. Decide to promote to an upper level. Then decide to succeed if it's right for you, and you will earn amazing rewards. If it's not for you, what have you lost? Nothing. You have gained the confidence to try something new and step out of your comfort zone. And along the way, you will have inspired others to follow in your footsteps. Just decide. And I love that. I think I just got goosies. I just had a Gene Jonas moment and I got goosies every time I read that. And that's truly, I mean, some of you guys might not even know this, but I was 17 years into my business and my husband of 20 years passed away. And I had to decide, am I going back to work full time? Am I going to make my business that I've worked so hard on for the last 17 years work for me and be able to support my family? And that's what I did. I went full forward and I decided this is going to work. I am not going back to the corporate world. I worked too hard on my business and I've decided to do this. And that's what I've done. And I've been able to make it work. And I'm so thankful for that. So, but I don't think I could have done that. I mean, I tell my kids stuff like that all the time. Like, what if I would have just crawled into a ball and, I mean, I know not everybody's situation is like that, but that was like my undying, like, I have to decide right now if this is going to work for me. And it's one of those things deep down, dig into yourself and decide that you're going to be a director. And say to yourself every day, I am a director with Pampered Chef. Not I'm going to be a director with Pampered Chef, as I am it. Act like as if it already happened. Those, moments of that we tell ourselves those affirmations are huge. So just decide that this is what you're going to do.
Yeah, I will second that because accounting of 30 years, I had a great job with corporate America job, but I was miserable. And I decided I'm going to leave my job. We went on a cruise and I was going to come back and put my resignation in. I lost my job 2 days after I got back off of vacation with a company. I wasn't with this company for 30 years, but I was doing the same thing for 30 years. I'd been with that company almost 20 years. And I was like, I had to, which I had already decided, but I was like, I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to come back and then I'm going to have a clear head. Well, they did it for me. And I called my husband. I was like, I've never been fired before, but I just lost my job. And he's like, don't mess with me. And I was like, no, I really did. And he's like, what are you going to do? And I was like, I'm going to do Pampered Chef. And I'd already been a consultant for 15 years, I think. Um, and so it was that moment. I wasn't going to go back to work for somebody else for 45 or 50 hours. And if I was going to have to do it, I was going to have to drive about an hour and a half to get to a job that I wanted to be at. And I thought, that's 3 hours away from my family, not to mention a lunch. So that's 4 hours away from home. And so I decided, and I'm like, I'm going to make this work. So it wasn't the ideal situation, but it was, things just kind of happen where we have to sometimes make that split second decision. But if you're not having to make a split second decision, you're in a good place because you can decide right now without it being forced and you having to really decide in like a harder decision. And I know Donna has a little, she had a deciding moment too. So I think, we all do. And it's just, just do it.
I do. I feel like the Nike commercial. Like, I do. Like, just decide, like, just do it. It's true.
Does anybody like non-leader have anything you want to share? And I don't mean that, Rachel, by non-leader, but I'm a non-speaker kind of thing. Anybody that you got that, something that you took away from this? We hope that you feel comfortable talking to us and sharing.
I guess I would just say that for those of you, I mean, I am a director and I'm looking to, work towards advanced director. But for those of you who are working towards director, I was in the similar, I don't remember what we call a Saturday Shakers group. And I think I went through that a couple of times at least and just kind of, the first time I was just kind of learning a little bit, kind of taking it in. And then I would just say, like you've said before, Cheryl, just immerse yourself in the trainings, learn all you can, talk to everybody you can. And, you guys have made great progress just by making it to the end of this program with the bookings and everything. And a couple of you have recruits. So that's awesome. So, just keep with it. You can do it.
I think the last bit of advice I could say is don't, at this point, just like Rachel said, talk to everybody. Don't decide if they're going to be the perfect team member. Because at this moment is the part where you just have to learn and hone your recruiting skills. So just recruit whoever you can. Sign up whoever is like, yeah, I'll give it a try. Don't be like, well, don't try to figure out if they're going to be this rock star person. But I think that was huge for me, not to try to make sure that it was all perfect. Just fill your bucket because there are going to be some that are kidnappers. There are going to be some that are just going to fall out. There are going to be some that just shoot off like a rocket and be like an amazing team member. And then you're going to have those that just dabble. I don't know if we've said this before. If you know somebody that just loves Pampered Chef, do you know they can sign up to be a consultant? And as long as they're kind of submitting some sales, they can take advantage of the discount.
Yep.
I mean, I signed up a friend of mine because she's got 3 daughters and she said, I can buy $200 worth of Pampered Chef myself between all of us every so often.
And
that's okay.
And you just don't know what somebody's going to do. Sarah Cooter, one of my directors, she was going to do 1 show a month and help her son through college and never ever was going to recruit. And now she's an advanced director. You know what I mean? Like, she went to 1 conference and that was all it took, was seeing people walk across the stage, and she said, I'm doing that next year. And she did, so you just never know what this could be for somebody. So don't ever, that's why we talk so strongly about don't not ask somebody. Like, you have to ask everybody because you just never know what you could be holding somebody back from.
All right. So guys, I'm not that this is has to be the end of it. Somebody else has something to say, but Cheryl mentioned some other resources, and we've been giving you every week some like call to actions. You got these things to listen to. So this week coming up, we're going to be sharing with you some of those things like the coffee talks and the Saturday shakers. So watch for those in the group. And would love to just hear what you think as you listen to these. Be thinking about, is that something that I've heard before but never tried and maybe I should? Is this brand new information? Could I see myself doing this? Have a, whatever, listen actively. Okay. So when you're listening to that stuff, be thinking about how can this be applied to maybe this one person I talked to, and this is a perfect way to respond or help to put them at ease, or, actively take that information that's coming in and then share that in the group, put it in the comments under whatever that replay is, because when other people are listening to it, they can, maybe catch the same thing. Maybe they didn't catch something that you did or didn't see it the same way, but it's really helpful to, kind of have that ways of bouncing ideas off of other people. Or, just like already you've done that where you listen to saying people put their takeaways, and Jamie's might be different from Kendra's or different from Anna's, and sometimes there's some of the same thing, like everybody really latched onto this thing, but then there'll be the things, oh well, that was your takeaway, boy, maybe I didn't even hear that, I wasn't listening to the whole time, or I didn't realize that might be something I should think about. But so watch for those in terms of some new resources, because this is the last call, but we've only done 3 weeks of Elevate, right? This week coming up is this is the 4th week of Elevate. And so we want to provide some more resources for you, and then that you can, respond to in the group and talk with your director about when you have that one-on-one call with them. So.
All right. I think we can all let everybody go.
Okay.
It's been great.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep. And we hope to see you next time.
Right. That's right. Bye, guys.
Good night.